Hey everyone, just want to let you know before the podcast started that the Great Things Tampa Bay app has been released. So go on your mobile device, just go to your app store and look up Great Things Tampa Bay, and it should show up there. If you have trouble finding it, there will be a link in the show notes. You can also go to greatthingstv.com/app. That's greatthingstv.com/app.
And one last question. Besides brick and mortar, what's your other favorite restaurant here in St. Pete?
Oh boy.
Oh, putting you on the spot.
Oh boy. There's a lot of them.
Hey everybody, Kyle Sasser here with Great Things Tampa Bay, and today we've got a little bit of a different sort of episode. I sat down and had dinner with another local Tampa Bay, influencer is kind of the name that we're all sort of getting these days, but another guy that has a passion for Tampa Bay, who loves all the great restaurants and things to do there. So I reached out to him online. His name is Joe Malinowski, and he runs Tampa Bay is Awesome. You might have seen his stuff on Instagram. And cool dude. So I reached out to him and asked him to pick his favorite restaurant, and we would go have dinner there. And I, of course, would bring along a microphone just to capture all the good stuff to do. We went to Brick and Mortar, which is located in downtown St. Petersburg, Florida, and known for absolutely delicious cuisine. So he definitely picked the right spot there. So without further ado, here's the interview with Joe Malinowski of Tampa Bay is Awesome.
Hey everybody, this is Kyle Sasser, Great Thanks Tampa Bay, and I am here with
Joe Malinowski, Tampa Bay is Awesome.
Yep, and he is a local blogger, marketer, social media guru extraordinary.
Man, oh man, yeah, thank you. I guess there's nothing else to say, but thank you.
Yep, and we are here at Brick and Mortar, just doing a little dining experience and having a chat about Tampa Bay, what each of us like. So what caused you to choose Brick and Mortar here?
It's delicious. I've come here a handful of times, and every time I come, it just, I was at, I think it's ES3 or Entrepreneurial Society, and we had an event here, and the chef came out and hung out with us, was describing everything, and it's, he put so much thought and care into it. I mean, there was stuff that he had that was getting served that they'd been preparing for 2 weeks. It's incredible when you see people that are that dedicated to their craft. And it's nice to, it's nice to appreciate our local guys that, especially with so many new places opening right now, you got to support the ones that are your staples, because it's going to be a lot of flash in the pans that we have coming out.
That's true, and relatively, I would say Brick and Mortar is one of the elder statesmen of Central Avenue at this point, even though they've only been open for a few years.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a lot of great places, that are also opening, but we still got to make sure that we go to those places that we know and love.
Yeah, and it's hard because my rule on the podcast is that I have to eat somewhere twice and have a great experience both times before I will review it. And same thing with it bad. If for bad experiences, I have to have 2 or 3 before I start talking shit about it. Do you have something similar?
I try to avoid I didn't have that great of if I didn't have a great experience, I just won't talk about the place, because I was at an event once and they served us truffle mac and cheese. Now, I don't like truffle, so
what?
It's just a weird. I will eat it. It's just not my favorite. And someone else was at the table, and there's some blogger who thought they were a big deal, and they were just like, "Oh, this is terrible."
To be unnamed.
To be unnamed. I don't even remember who it was, but I just remember them saying how terrible it was, and I'm just like, "Why don't you like it?" They're like, "Oh, I don't like truffle." I was like, "Well, don't be such an ass about it. You don't like the flavor that they chose to use. Everyone else that likes truffle seems to love it." So that's what I would say. Listen, truffle's not my favorite. I don't have a personal experience with it. I ate it. It tasted like truffle. The people who like truffle thought it was amazing.
Exactly, like beer. I am not a big beer drinker. So I do go to Cycle Brewing on occasion, which is across the way here, just because I like the place. And the beer is okay. I couldn't tell you anything about the beer. But I do get asked a lot about breweries. I don't know shit about beer. I don't really like beer, so that's not my wheelhouse. So I'm not even going to comment on beer. Liquor, though, I will tell you some good liquors.
Oh yeah, I love we have so many new distilleries that are even opening, both on here and even in Ybor. They have 2 new distilleries, or no, 1 new distillery over there, a rum distillery that's dynamite. You got American Victory over here, and then the existing ones that we have. You know, Kazuba does a spectacular job. St. Pete Distillery, love Banyan Vodka.
Which again, they've only been open for a few years, but they're kind of the elder statesmen at this point.
Yeah.
Because they're in all the Publixes and all that good stuff. P.S. Their bourbon is delicious.
Who's bourbon?
St. Pete Distilleries.
Oh, yeah. Big shout out to them. I mean, they're big supporters of us. I mean, we love them regardless because they just put out such a great product, and they are getting so engaged in the community. I mean, you have a bar or something that you want to get an event, St. Pete Distillery.
So I have actually been trying to get a hold of somebody there for like 3 weeks.
Tell me who, and I'll get you there. I'll get you in front of them.
Just somebody that'll talk to me.
I will get you anybody I will get you some cool people that will get you some good exposure for stuff.
So you brought a book here.
I did bring you a book.
And actually, I have to say, so in this digital age, an actual physical product is both unique.
Hardcover.
Yeah, it's both unique and interesting. As the hostess or waitress stares over here. There you go. Now she's looking down the street. All right. So, but yes, you brought a book, a physical product. It's called Tampa Bay. Do it, live it, love it. Tell us about it. Tell us the inspiration for it.
A buddy of mine had been doing these types of books all over the world for the last 15 years. We put out a book in early 2017 called Best of Tampa Bay, and it was about 340 pages. It was business, it was lifestyle, it was, trying to cram a ton of stuff into one book for both sides of the bay, even into Pasco and Sarasota. So what we ended up doing a year later, knowing that we really wanted something that showcases both sides of the bay unified. No one, people are like, rah, 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 St. Pete, rah, 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 Tampa, rah, 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 Clearwater. Like, no one has ever done anything that's like, listen, we are one huge, awesome community. Some ridiculous number of people, 10 or 15 million people a year come here to hang out.
So I actually looked this up. We are larger. The Tampa Bay metro area is actually larger than Denver.
Wow. And not just our population, but you look at our number of visitors, and the thing that I see with all of our Facebook pages, I mean, St. Pete's Awesome, Clearwater Beach, South Tampa, downtown, all of them, is you have a lot of people that live here or are natives here and don't venture out of like their little 3 or 4 or 5 mile bubble, and we're all so excited to go travel the world and travel all these cool places, and they haven't even been to Gulfport.
Yeah.
Gulfport's flipping awesome.
Safety Harbor, like
Harbor, Dunedin, like these little small communities. Like if you went to, you'd be like, holy shit, I didn't realize. Like, wow, you can spend the whole day here, drink, eat, have a blast. I mean, not to down the pricing of it, but it's super cheap. Like, go to Gulfport, no one's charging you more than like $4, $3 for a beer.
So Gulfport, we like Pia's.
Nice.
My wife and I.
Awesome. No, great. No, I am not.
Safety Harbor. Have you had the pizza from the one guy there?
I haven't.
So his pizza is amazing, but it is true what everybody says. Do not try to substitute or change what he's doing. He does.
Oh, I want to do it. I want to go there and like video the experience.
Yeah, he will. Not that he will tell you to go fuck yourself, but
the Nazi of Safety Harbor.
Yeah, let's just say they're not open to substitutions.
I love it. I want to go to a place like that. We went to the Soup Nazi place in New York once, and we were so hungry when we got there. Like no one had the balls to be like a weirdo. We were just like, I just want to eat. So I always wonder if he would have, no soup for you, would have been awesome.
Maybe. All right, so the food at Brick and Mortar here has just arrived. Joe, what'd you get?
I got the special, which, oh, you're not our waiter.
Yeah, you're the doppelganger. You're the Jason doppelganger. I'm sorry. It's like 3 times we looked at him like, oh, no, sorry.
So Jason tells us this is the most amazing snapper with a bunch of, I can't even do it justice. I mean, there's quinoa, there's a green tomato.
Yep. So looking at it, it's got a base of quinoa. What is that? Is that a yam or something? I don't know.
I don't think it's.
So a beautiful base of quinoa. Salmon, right? Was the
snapper.
Snapper. encrusted with something that looks delicious, and then
Jason's
wait. All right, give us the description here.
All right, so that is our snapper feature this evening. You have 5-ounce pan-seared fillet of the snapper local caught with a Marcona almond and beet green puree, smoked green tomato, and a quenelle of an ancho chili rui on top. And we finish it out with a little bit of lemon gem is on top, and that's just going to give it a little kind of citrus floral flair on top.
All right, and what am I looking at on my plate here?
So yours is our scallop app feature tonight. So it's going to be 4 pan-seared U10 scallops over our house-made green curry with a jalapeno and cilantro vinaigrette. We have some sliced heirloom tomato, pan-roasted beach mushrooms, and we finish it out with a cilantro oil on top.
You should really like narrate stuff on Food Network. Like you're very good at.
So much, guys. And wine and beer is all set at the moment too.
I think we're good.
Well, after those lovely descriptions, dig in, okay?
All right. Thanks, Jason. All right, let's see how this stuff tastes.
Yeah.
Jason's going in.
Joe is going in. Jason's left.
Sorry, Joe's going in.
Wow. Man. I gotta try what this little green stuff is. I mean, everything is, everything's got such a nice, unique flavor to it. And that's what's tough to find in a lot of places. I mean, everyone's kind of doing the same thing, and the chef here is just always out of the box. Always out of the box. It's amazing. It's amazing. Come get it.
I like it. And looking at my scallops here, I would say those are $50 sized. Like,
Yeah.
these things are huge.
I would say even bigger than $50.
And I'm not a tremendous connoisseur of scallops, but I thought this one sounded interesting enough to try. But yeah, it's pretty good. The thing I've been noticing, like the last few places I've eaten at that I have liked, hasn't been that they're doing like something that like blows your mind. It's the fact that the flavors in the sauces and on the entree and all that stuff are very balanced, so you can like see everything that's in there.
I mean, there's stuff on here that like you're not thinking of, at home. I hate going to, I don't hate, I just love eating food everywhere, but it's always interesting when you go to a place and you're kind of like at the end of the meal like, I probably could have made that. I could figure it out if I really wanted to. But like you come to this, I don't even know what to pair, like this I don't know what he called it. He didn't call it chorizo. I feel like there's a little bit of that flavor in it.
There's an R or something, wasn't it?
There was something. But it's amazing.
It's unknown, but it's delicious.
It was the funny, I don't even remember the word he used.
We'll have to roll that back and give it a listen. All right, so the food's delicious.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to enjoy it and come back to you. Oops, sorry. I was not recording, actually. Shit. That happens to me all the time. All right, so I am here with, introduce yourself.
I am the chef owner of Brick and Mortar.
All right, and your name is?
Jason.
Jason, also the name of our waiter.
Yeah, yep.
Which he does a
Great waiter.
He does a very good job with descriptions and telling us about the food and all that good stuff.
He's really good with that stuff. He's one of our best.
So you're kind of the elder statesman of Central Avenue now at 3 years established, to be honest, at least to me.
I feel like I'm definitely part of it growing, so yeah, I would like to say that.
2 questions. 1, what's your favorite part about being a business here on Central Avenue in St. Pete? And 2, where do you see things going in the next 5 years?
Oh, wow. I mean, I got in here right at the right time. I mean, when St. Pete is just growing by leaps and bounds, like every week something's happening. But I would like to feel comfortable saying that we were part of bringing St. Pete up the way it is, and bringing the food scene up. There was already some awesome people here, but it's definitely nice to be a part of that. And in 5 years, where do I see? I think St. Pete is going to be one of the most competitive little big cities in the country, if it's already on its way. So
well, we're not so little anymore. Actually, I looked it up. So not just St. Pete, but the Tampa Bay metro area, we're actually larger than Denver now.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's cool.
Yeah, and there's even more people moving here because we don't have snow, unlike Denver.
Yeah, it's funny because there's probably about probably 1 out of every 10 tables that I talk to is somebody that lives here now that came for vacation last year or last winter or whatever and decided, oh my God, St. Pete's amazing, and they end up deciding to move here or get a vacation house here. I mean, literally every week, all week long, no matter what time of the year it is, there's always a handful of people that have done that.
All right. Well, Jason, I do want to ask one last question. How do you come up with this delicious stuff?
Oh man, it's just whatever's fresh and kind of go with the seasons. And I just kind of I literally call my vendors up. Hey, what kind of fish do we have in? What kind of produce do we have in? And just play off of that and collaborate with. We have a really awesome staff as well in the kitchen. So very lucky to have that.
And one last question. Besides brick and mortar, what's your other favorite restaurant here in St. Pete?
Oh boy.
Oh, putting you on the spot.
Oh boy. There's a lot of them. But I would definitely have to go with El Retorno. Sola Bistro's on the beach, but still definitely check it out.
Actually, I haven't been to El Retorno since they did the remodel.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's just as good, if not better. But just a really badass build out that they did. So, and they have liquor now, which is awesome.
Sweet. All right. Well, Jason, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So I asked to see the dessert menu, and Jason said, "Well, why don't I just tell you about it?" So here we go.
So we've got 3 desserts, all house made. The first one is the lightest out of the 3. It's a lavender panna cotta. We also infuse it with a little bit of basil. Then you have on the other side prosciutto, Marcona almonds, blue cheese, and a little drizzle of Brick Street Farms local honey. So you get a little bit of salty sweet on that dish. The next one is our chocolate espresso cake. So it's 2 layers of deep chocolate cake, and then you have the cocoa cream cheese frosting in the center, a chocolate espresso ganache shell, and our house-made whipped cream to finish that out. And lastly, our empress of our desserts is the glazed donut bread pudding. All solid glazed donuts, tres leche sauce, toasted coconut, and house whipped cream on top to finish that out.
Well, I got to tell you, the donut thing sounds a little over the top.
It's our most popular dessert, and it's decadent and amazing.
What are you thinking, Joe?
I'd say 2
Oh.
forks.
I'm down for anyone. You want to split one, or you want to eat?
Give me the brief overview again.
So solid glazed donut bread pudding, tres leche sauce, toasted coconut, and house-made whipped cream on top.
Wait. Give me all of the desserts again.
All of them.
Am I getting quizzed here?
Well, no. I don't need the detail, just the quick
Oh, yeah.
overview.
So then our chocolate espresso cake, and then the lavender panna cotta as well.
Any one of them, dude.
You want to do the lavender?
I'm down. Sounds amazing.
How's the lavender? Is the lavender good?
Lavender, like I said, it's not going to be as big of a dessert bomb as the other 2, but it's definitely got nice subtle flavors. It's very delicate. And then you also have the prosciutto and everything with it too.
Yeah. I like basil in desserts for some reason, and also I usually order chocolates. So I'm trying to break out of my mold a little bit.
I'd say you can go with either. Either of them are good for sharing.
And donuts do not sound tremendously healthy. A donut bread pudding.
Every once in a while, it's okay in my book.
Alrighty. So we're going to do the lavender thing.
Lavender one.
All right.
Be right back.
That was what I was most curious about. It sounded very interesting, and I too am a basil fan.
I like basil sweets for some reason, because it's very unanticipated, you know?
Yeah, and like I said, it's a very small undertone of that dessert, but it's just enough to give the essence of its flavor. It's
Just that little bit of herbal.
just a little smoothness there.
I like it.
But I'll be right back. 2 forks and some water. Would either of you like a refresher of wine or beer?
Good. Water's good.
Just the water? Okay, be right back.
Thanks, Jason. Hang on a second.
Wow.
So this dessert just showed up.
Is blue cheese?
Wait, is that gorgonzola? Or no, blue cheese.
Blue cheese for
yes.
gorgonzola.
Sorry.
Yep, and then you have our lovely liquid gold honey from Brick Street Farms drizzled on top, and the prosciutto and Marcona almonds. It's very beautiful.
Jason,
Yes.
besides brick and mortar, which you are a exquisite waiter at, or do you refer to yourself as a waiter?
Server.
Server. Okay. Besides brick and mortar, what is your other favorite place in St. Petersburg to eat at?
Well, every once in a while, some smoked fish from Ted Peters is really amazing.
Oh shit! Are you old school? Are you like a native or?
No, I'm from Vermont. But we discovered that place, and we live in Gulfport, so it's really nice to go to every once in a while. But Just, we kind of hop around here and there around town. Half off bottles of wine on Sunday at Nada is really fun. But
Are they still doing that?
yeah.
Do they still do the half-price appetizers on Tuesdays?
I work on Tuesdays, so I never have a chance to go there and find out. But
Well, I can tell you it's delicious if they still do it. But the half-price bottles of wine are also awesome.
yeah, especially if you're wanting to learn about wine and you haven't tried something for the first time, you can get it half off. It's pretty good there.
Which most people don't know, same owners as Mazzaro's Italian Market.
And I love Mazzaro's to death.
Who doesn't?
It's very magical.
All right, well, Jason, thank you so much for delivering this blue cheese, not gorgonzola, sorry.
Enjoy your dessert, okay?
I don't even remember what we ordered, but it looks amazing.
So I am not obviously a food professional by any stretch of the imagination. All I know is this shit looks legit.
Yeah. What is this? This isn't. It looks like cheesecake. So it's not cheesecake.
I'll let you go first.
All right. We get a little.
So
bit of
it's basically like a flan cheesecake looking thing with like prosciutto and blue cheese
Blue cheese. So we get a little blue cheese on it.
and some honey.
One of these nuts. Now this is not your traditional dessert of any sort here. All right, here we go. Here we go. Leading up to it, big build up. Wow. That is delicious.
If it sucks, tell us.
No, it's different. It's got like little floral notes to it. The prosciutto and everything balances it all out.
Yeah, because
It's got I'd say almost a cheesecakey consistency, but the honey, I mean, it's awesome.
all right,
I'm trying.
let me dive in here. That is weird. It's like almost like a gelatin almost.
Yeah, but it's not a gelatiny, it almost has cheesecakey consistency to it.
So obviously the prosciutto is the trouble.
Prosciutto is a troublemaker.
It's the trouble
The
spot.
honey is amazing too. Whatever they said the honey came from is awesome. Golden Farm, whatever the hell. Honey. You can tell that we're very critical food critics because we remember all of the descriptions.
Yeah, very classically trained. Wow. I don't know. So
Man,
very unique.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad I ordered this besides the chocolate. Like chocolate, I can anticipate what I'm going to get.
Yeah, it's going to be delicious. It's going to be chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. This is think of it's like prosciutto syrup with a little bit of cheesecake on it. So this is absolutely delicious. Obviously, our description is not doing it justice.
Don't even try it. Just come eat it.
Amazing.
This would definitely be. This is why I'm not doing a podcast because I'd be like shit.
Yeah. So the professional podcaster here just did about.
An amazing conversation you all just missed.
Yes, and I can't ask the same questions because you already know.
But I did get 2 out of the 3 right.
Yes. So
It's not in the cup.
So just to back up a little bit, we'll run through them. We'll run through. So World Cup starting up here less than a month,
That it is.
and all right. So going through the questions, is the United States qualified in the World Cup?
I guessed no, and they are not.
That's correct. They could have qualified up until the last game, and then they lost against Trinidad and Tobago of all people.
And
And I actually know some folks from Trinidad, so no offense to you, but there is no reason why the United States should have lost to
my
Trinidad.
wife is from Trinidad.
Well, there you go. Give her some heads up. Second question: did Italy qualify?
I said no because I did hear that through the grapevine.
Yep. And no, Italy, long-standing football powerhouse, did not qualify. Third question:
Years ago, right?
yeah, they won just a couple cycles ago. Yeah, last cycle was Germany.
Yeah.
So Netherlands, did they qualify?
I guessed yes, and they did not.
That's right. And I went into this very long diatribe about their color being orange, and yeah.
Their name and where oranges come from. Like, it was fascinating.
Yeah, and it was a really great explanation, which I'm not going to go into. Again, I will leave it as a mystery for a day in the future.
I learned about oranges today. Kyle learned about what 86 means. We all are better for that.
Yep, so 86, that was actually something before we started recording. It's apparently basically in industry knowledge. If you work in the restaurant business, give us a brief explanation.
That means we don't have it. That's bland as it comes. We don't have it. I don't know where it came from. You can look it up. If you look it up, let us know because I think it's stupid.
So if somebody says 86 lobsters,
You do not have 86 lobsters.
Yeah, so for some reason, instead of saying we don't have lobster, you say 86 lobsters.
Apparently it.
It sounds like this must have come from like sailing ships, because they're the only thing I know that has such stupid fucking jargon.
That would be interesting.
I'm sure it's got to go back to some colonial, some colonial horse shit.
You guys gotta come try whatever the hell it is. This lavender panna cotta with prosciutto and blue cheese and delicious honey. Forgot what kind of nuts these are, but god damn, it's delicious.
Yeah, actually, we were not recording for so long that we might have just skipped over the whole dessert portion there. This dessert is best described as unique and I would say a little bit savory. It's a savory sweet.
Savory.
So it's a combination of prosciutto, a almost flan consistency lavender cheesecake sort of thing, and some delicious honey.
We'll say flawny cheesecake.
Oh, and blue cheese.
And it's all amazing. You gotta get it.
And we are sitting next to some folks here who are currently checking their phones. Yeah, and they were laughing at us not recording for the last 5 minutes. What's your names?
Richie.
Sarah Beth.
All right, Richie and Sarah.
You guys are gonna be famous.
Yes. What are y'all looking forward to ordering here at Brick and Mortar?
Well, we've got the curry and spice rubbed smoked pulled pork poutine coming.
All right, good choice. Good choice.
That's all we've picked so far.
Still deciding on the rest?
Yeah.
You had the scallops, and I had the snapper special today, and was
Good.
this is you got to get this stuff. This
What
was
is it?
this was the dessert,
Oh.
and if you listen to our amazing description we just gave, you would know that.
Yeah.
But this is a lavender panna cotta with prosciutto and honey. It's amazing.
Yeah, so Jason, our server, definitely the king of descriptions. He will give you the whole rundown.
Yeah.
But it is very unique. Like, so chocolate stuff, you kind of know what you're getting. But this is very unique to this place.
For you, telling them all about this deliciousness here.
You didn't have my finesse.
No, they didn't.
That's true. That's
They
true.
didn't have the finesse at all.
All right, so we're here at Mandarin Hide.
Yeah.
Barkeep, what's your name?
Neil, I'm
Neil. All right, so you don't want to be on the podcast? All right. Tell us a little about this place.
They just have crafty cocktails, and I happen to have a pretty substantial gift card, so I come here and drink an abundant amount.
Well, there you go. There you go. Is this related to the book that you did?
Yeah, we did a little barter deal, so
Well, hey.
chipping out a little bit each.
See.
No one to come down here with, so.
Well, here we are. Here we are. All right, it's Joe. Joe, we're out of Mandarin Hide there.
Yes, sir. Headed out.
How good was it?
It was very good. I'm more of just a plain old whiskey or scotch guy. I don't need all of the fancy additives. So, by whatever I got, the first one, Rob Roy, was very nice. I enjoyed it. Then I just went with the Glenlivet. You know, keep it simple.
So, neat or on the rocks or?
I went neat. I usually am a one rocks kind of guy, but, you know, switch it up.
So, do you do or do not like old fashions at all?
I sometimes like them. You know, people are always like, this place has a really great old fashioned, and I'll try it. And sometimes I really love them, and sometimes I don't. So I usually steer. I don't typically go for it unless I take a sip of someone else's. Yeah. And I'm like, oh yeah, all right, I'll do that.
Well, I can say the old fashioned at Mandarin Hide, pretty good.
Nice.
Not the best I've ever had, but pretty good. It's a little more on the spicier side.
I don't mind the spiciness. I think sometimes I don't know if it's the bitters or they don't put vermouth in old fashioned. Vermouth's in a Manhattan, right? I forgot.
No, it's like
Sugar.
Yeah.
But overwhelming.
Yeah, some people go a little too hard on the sugars, but it's good places. So that pretty much wraps up the night with Joe Malinowski of Tampa Bay is Awesome, and much thanks to him. Had a great time tonight. Great conversations with a bunch of people around, and completely sorry that I keep forgetting to hit the record button. I promise that this recorder is much more complicated than it looks. It takes about 3 button presses to get it to record. My apologies. Anyway, great conversations with Joe and Jason, our server, and also Mandarin Hide. Even though I know he didn't want to be featured on the podcast, you did great work, and I appreciate it. So check it out. Tampa Bay is Awesome. We got a link in the show notes here. You can check them out. And brick and mortar, also a great place to go. I'm going to try to put together a interview with Jason the Chef, which you heard in this episode. And Mandarin Hide, also a great place to go over here in St. Petersburg for some drinks, some cocktails, some mixed beverages. So anyway, thanks again, Joe. And it was an absolute pleasure.
I'd like to thank you for tuning in today to Great Things Tampa Bay. My name's Kyle Sasser, and I am a 39-year Florida native. Lived in the Tampa Bay region my entire life, and also a realtor. So if you'd like to find your own great place in Tampa Bay, I'd love to help you out with that. And we can do that in Clearwater. We can do that in Sarasota. Brandon, if you wanted to do Brandon, I can do Brandon. I've lived there. They got some nice stuff. We also, Great Things Tampa Bay, we're also doing some events out and about. We're doing dining experiences with groups where you can come out, meet and greet with some other folks, some other fans of the show, some personal friends of mine, and you can see my bright and shining face. I'd love to meet you. Come on out. And you can find out about those events at the website, greatthingstb.com, or at our mobile app. Just go to the mobile store of your choice and type in Great Things Tampa Bay in the App Store, and we should show up there. If we don't, please send me an email. Today, we got something a little quirky, a little fun playing us out. This is a local band. Well, actually, all these are local bands. But this is a Stone Marmot, and the name of this track is My Girlfriend is a Zombie.
My girlfriend is a zombie. She's driving me insane. Every time I hug her, she tries to eat my brain. Zombie girlfriend, our romance a dead end. Nibble, nibble on the neck drives me insane. Ooh, yeah, nibble, nibble, then she tries to eat my brain. My girlfriend is a zombie. She has a certain charm. When I take her by the hand, off comes her whole arm. Zombie girlfriend, our romance a dead end. Pasty white complexion, she has a certain charm. When I take her by the hand, off comes her whole arm. Creepy, but you get used to it. She used to be such a sweet, sweet girl. Pink frilly dresses, ribbons and curls. Something sinister crawling in her bed turned her into one of the undead. Undead! Undead! My baby's so undead! My girlfriend is a zombie. She gave her heart to me. Now there's a hole in her chest where it used to be. Zombie girlfriend, our romance a dead end. She tells me that she loves me. She gave her heart to me. Now there's a hole in her chest where it used to be. I hold her heart in my hand, all cold and squishy. Zombie girlfriend, it's driving me insane. Zombie girlfriend, she tries to eat my brain. Zombie girlfriend, she's driving me insane. Zombie girlfriend, please don't eat my brain. Zombie girlfriend, drives me so insane. Zombie girlfriend, ooh, neck nibble. No, 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 no!